Yes, they know you're back.
Oh, say nothing, Dusty. Do you hear me?
That's a good idea. I do teach your daughter.
Maybe you could teach me a few things.
This is harassment. You're harassing me.
Why are you being like this?
Because you're a child and I'm a teacher.
I wanted to talk to you about the resilience camp.
Simon, please, I do not have the time to talk about this again. Just sort it. Listen, I've got one of those 2-for-1 vouchers for some pizza place.
But I'm not really free.
Aren't you a bit old to be playing at cops and robbers?
We're not playing. This is how the FBI stop their suspects. These are proper techniques here, Lisa.
Yeah? Well, you look like proper numpties.
Our resilience program is less about exams and more about creating young people who are enthusiastic, self-assured, and ready to thrust themselves forth into the world. Because those who exude confidence and self-respect are more likely to get the treatment they deserve.
I don't think so. Get away from there.
Just...
55 pence, please.
Vigilance Day is about encouraging the pupils to be alert, to recognize when something isn't right and have the confidence to change it, forming resilient and responsible citizens for the future. And in part 2, we solve global hunger and world poverty.
I think you're being very mean, George. It's rather wonderful Simon's injecting a bit of life into the curriculum.
Yes, but as with all faddy new initiatives, Audrey, the burden tends to fall on the teachers. And I'm assuming you haven't been given any extra time to deal with all the marking that these new lessons will generate?
Oh, he's got a point.
Oh, gosh, I'm already up to my eyes in marking.
I'm all for improving things for the students, just so long as it doesn't make things doubly difficult for the teachers.
What you want?
Come to say I'm sorry about Friday night. You were right about Gabriella.
Oh, guys, she's not that bad.
Listen, something else I need to tell you.
Look, babes, I'm sorry. If I hadn't been a better mate, then you wouldn't have to look for another one.
That's it. Proszę, proszę, proszę.
Puśćcie tam, puśćcie tam, puśćcie tam. This boy's giving you trouble, Dad.
What do you think?
What's this? Back up.
If you want to buy something, hurry up. If not, leave.
All right. No need to be like that about it.
I want you out our shop.
Come on, Lenny. Lenny!
Look, Rhiannon, there's your drinking pal.
You might not like her, but she knows how to make an entrance.
What's he doing back? He was in Morton's with his mates.
How was he?
Like Barry.
Nice wheels. Well, Joe. Never mind about the car. What are you doing with my brother?
What am I not doing with him?
Do I look like I found this funny?
Well, I thought you'd be pleased. This practically makes us sisters.
It really doesn't. And if you don't stay away from me, you'll find out how far away from being sisters we really are.
Bad attitude in that shop, haven't they? It's like they just thought we was there to nick stuff.
You were there to nick stuff.
They couldn't get us out of there quick enough. Especially when we saw those girls out the back.
Well, would you want your relatives being eyed up by that?
You didn't see them. They were scared or something.
Again, Look at the state of that.
Look, I'm being serious, Lisa. Something in that shop was just totally off.
See, this is why playing it's secret agents.
FBI agents.
You two need to grow up. He always gets carried away like this.
I don't.
Okay, you don't. You also didn't have to sleep with the lights on for a week after watching Slash Attack 3, either.
Me too.
So, you should all have your lesson plans for the vigilance session you'll be taking with your classes this morning. Meanwhile, I'll be running the Leaders of Tomorrow session with the older pupils in the gym. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't get it. Everyone seemed really on board last week.
Well, keep working on them. Both of you.
What use exactly is resilience and citizenship to these children?
It's important for our students to express themselves as people, George, rather than being judged solely on essays, exams and attainment.
Wonder what the LA will think when they realise that our focus is no longer on essays, exams and attainment.
I'm sure they'll understand that there's more to just teaching here at Waterloo Road. We have to be mentors, life coaches even.
I think it's important, George. As is our senior management team showing a united front. So I would like you to support Simon's leadership lesson in the gym this morning.
It's okay, I've got it covered. Thanks, Christine.
Sure, Simon doesn't need me to hold his hand. And anyway, I'm on pastoral duty.
No. I'll text you if anything comes up.
It's very good of you to think of us teachers when there are leftovers in the canteen. Mrs. Barry, I thought we were supposed to be keeping a low profile.
It's a bacon butty, George, not an engagement ring, but if you don't want it...
No, it's really sweet of you. Thank you.
I just wanted you to know how much I missed you this weekend, and well, I remember you saying your mum's not much of a cook, so...
Yeah, well, having your own full-time chef can do that to a person.
She's got her own chef?
Her own chef, her own housekeeper, her own gardener, not to mention the Vietnamese girl who comes in once a week to wax her whiskers with caramel.
She must have felt like she was slumming it at yours.
Probably. Nothing's good enough for Mother, least of all me.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true. Most mothers would give the right arm for a son like you.
Well, she'll be 30,000 feet up and halfway to Kensington by now, so hopefully it'll be some considerable time before we have another visit. Thank you.
Pleasure.
All right, settle down, guys. Who can tell me what makes an effective leader?
Strength.
Yeah, you're right, Gabriella, but we're not talking about physical strength. We're talking about mental strength. What else makes a good leader?
Good communication skills.
Yes, Dynasty, excellent, well done. And that is what this is all about. Next week, we're going to be relying on you lot to step up at the resilience camp.
Lord help us all.
So can you communicate like leaders? We're about to find out.
Thrilling as this sounds, Mr. Losley. Sadly, my presence is required by the head teacher.
I'd have called police if it was up to me.
Well, I appreciate you giving us the chance to deal with it first.
What do you mean?
Yes, this is Mr. Windsor, my deputy head. It seems Lenny Brown and Darren Hughes behaved rather disgracefully in Mr. Kowalski's shop this morning.
The bigger one is always stealing from us.
I can assure you Mr. Windsor will give them a stern talking to.
A talking to?
No, and they will be punished. But with young people like Lenny and Darren, it's important to get to the cause of their behaviour so that...
I just don't want them in the shop again.
I fully understand that. Thank you very much for coming in.
Getting to the cause of their behaviour. beginning to sound like Simon.
Is that such a bad thing?
Just don't go the whole hog and get a perm, will you?
Go and read Lenny and Darren the Riot Act.
I was having such fun with Mr. Lousy. Right, sit down in here, consider the consequences of your actions, etc., etc. You can go back into lessons period 2.
What, is that it?
Yes? What were you expecting, a birching? They've outlawed that, sadly.
Well, no, but... Well, Mr. Lowsley always, asked me why I did it and that.
Well, unlike Mr. Losley, I don't enjoy wasting my time. All I will say is if you're insistent on nicking stuff, you might as well get used to confined spaces.
There's something not right going on at that shop, sir.
Apart from chocolate bars leaping off the shelves and into your pockets, you mean?
I'm being serious, sir.
So am I. Mr. Losley might be interested in your ridiculous justifications for bad behaviour. I'm not.
Do you not think it's a bit weird that the guy from the shop came in and grassed on us? I mean, it's not the first time you've nicked stuff from there, is it? Nope. And the only thing different about today was that we saw those 2 girls. Maybe he was taking offensive action.
Offensive action?
Yeah, grassing on us before we could grass on him.
Why would we want to do that?
Young girls, face full of makeup, tight tops, acting weird. Well, what does that make you think of?
Rhiannon Salt.
Sex slaves, Darren. They get trafficked in this country by the mafia. Would that not explain everything we saw this morning?
Straight on, straight on. Stop. Stop. Oh, mate, that's it. Let's just straight on, straight forward. And take the store. You should update your bit. Marvellous. Very good. Now see, feel this. Stop. And to the left. Walk straight ahead.
Excellent, guys. Are they communicating well, Miss Boston?
Yeah, they are actually, yeah.
Good, that's what it's all about, inspiring confidence in your followers.
Right leg over now. And there you go.
Oliver Twist and the Artful Dodger are currently doing time in the cooler as we speak.
Did you get to the bottom of it?
Well, they stole some sweets, Christine. That hardly warrants a visit from the psychiatrist.
We don't know what's going on with them if we don't ask.
Do I hear the dulcet tones of tomorrow's leaders honing their skills?
Play nicely.
Left leg up. Then you'll do a miss. Step forward. Walking forward. Very good. Very good. Keep going.
Yeah, try to do it verbally, Gabriella. You shouldn't really need to touch him.
I wouldn't want him to hurt himself.
Right, I'm guessing Mrs. Losley isn't feeling very safe right now.
Sorry. Must have missed that one.
Rhiannon, if you're not going to do it properly, you won't take part at all?
Do try and keep their innate leadership qualities in check, Mr. Losley, if you can.
Why don't you show them how it's done, Mr. Windsor?
So many reasons, one of which, fortunately, is S4 French.
You all right there, love? Bingo's up at the community centre, if that's what you're looking for.
No, it most certainly is not. I'm looking for my son.
And who might that be?
The deputy head, Mr. Windsor.
Right, take your textbooks out, turn to page 54, and complete exercise B in silence.
But, sir, our timetable says we have a special vigilance lesson today.
Almost forgot. How remiss. Yes. Today's lesson is about vigilance. Who knows what it means to be vigilant? Well, It means to be always on the lookout for potential danger wherever it may lurk, and to be careful who you trust in these dangerous times. The threat of terrorism and crime is everywhere, but not always obvious.
Sir, what should you do if you think that you've discovered something criminal, but other people don't really believe you?
Well, if your gut instinct tells you there's something wrong, chances are there is. But you shouldn't necessarily be swayed by others. Don't automatically assume that they know more than you do.
So you should do something about it too, shouldn't you, sir?
Well, would you want to be the person who could have prevented something and didn't? The hero that never was. No guts, no glory. Any other questions? Right. Take your books out. Turn to page 54 and complete exercise B in silence.
Almost there.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I'm as slow as a snail. Don't ever get old, will you, dear?
So it must be lovely having George back in the country. It's just the two of you, isn't it?
Oh, you seem to know rather a lot about him. I wouldn't have thought your paths would cross that much.
Well, he's very supportive of the non-teaching staff, very friendly. Not like some of them who think they're a cut above.
Yes, that sounds like my George. He likes to mix with all sorts.
Sir, there's someone at the door for you.
Mother, what are you doing here?
There was a mix-up with the flights, so they put me on a later one.
I saw your ticket. You were definitely booked on the
Not to worry, these things happen. And anyway, I've always wanted to see you in action, and now I have time to.
Sir, is this the new Mrs. Windsor?
No, actually, this is the old Mrs. Windsor. My mother, everyone.
Good morning, children.
She chats well posh in it, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm not fluent in council estate slang. Could somebody please translate?
Miss, what was Sir like when he was little?
Adorable, a chubby little cherub.
A chubby little cherub, is that right, sir?
Miss, how old are you?
Never you mind.
So, who thinks they can translate the school motto for Mrs. Windsor? Archie.
Welcome to Waterloo Road, Mrs. Windsor. Our school motto is Ex Nihilo Omnia. It means everything from nothing.
How delightful. What a well-behaved class.
Well, we're only as good as our teacher, miss.
It's about more than just being a teacher at a school like this. You have to be a mentor, a life coach, even.
Right then. Who thinks they came up with a good one for the letter V? Imogen.
I had voicing your concerns.
Yes. Voicing your concerns. Excellent. What about the letter I? Rhiannon, have you got anything?
In it.
In it?
Like voicing your concerns, innit?
Possibly. Anyone else got anything for the letter I?
Qui nous sommes, d'où nous venons, nous le disons toujours, Archie.
Nous le disons toujours.
Nous sommes Waterloo Road, Lenny.
Nous sommes Waterloo Road.
Le puissant Waterloo Road.
Le puissant Waterloo Road.
It's one of our favourites, isn't it, guys?
Well, they certainly seem to enjoy it.
Well, I think it's important that they get a chance to express themselves, that classes aren't just about exams and essays and attainment. a lot of the teachers tend to pilfer my techniques, but I think it's important to share good practice. Oh, that's break time, kids. Run along. Don't forget to be vigilant and look out for one another. Gotta love them, honey.
What are you saying? The more I think about it, the more I know that I'm right. Why do you think he wouldn't sell you those magazines? Well, because I'm underage. Because that's where he's advertising the girls. Right? You see, it does kind of make sense when you say it, because obviously I do look old enough.
What are you talking about?
I reckon Mr. Quelcy's people raffling, trafficking. Yep.
Are you for real?
We are, actually.
Is this something you've put in his head?
What? I have got a mind of my own, you know.
No, you haven't. Not when it comes to stuff like this. You just get dragged along.
No, I don't. I'm the one who figured this out, not him. And I'll be the one who sorts it.
Barry, what do you want?
I've missed you. Look different.
So do you. Nice here.
I want to come home. Dynasty.
It's not me you need to speak to. It's me mum. She's working in the kitchens now.
Yeah. You could talk to her for me, though. You could tell her I've changed.
You need to speak to her yourself.
I reckon the only thing that I get in that kitchen right now is a knuckle sandwich.
Might not be that bad. Barry.
Yeah?
If you just come on back to mess things up for us, don't.
At first, I have to admit that I thought it was all a bit beneath you, but now I see the wonderful work you're doing with these poor, underprivileged children. It's admirable, George. It really is.
Just one moment, Mother. Last time I checked, you didn't go to this school, which means that you shouldn't be here.
I'm glad to see you getting some action, sir, but isn't she a bit old for you?
How dare you?
Leave it to me, Mother. If you're quite finished trespassing and harassing an old woman, I think it's probably time you left, don't you?
Oh, what?
Barry, what have I just said?
It's all right. I'm going. But you better be treating me mum right. Do you hear me?
What?
Yeah, I hear she's working here. So you lot better be looking after her.
Well, rest assured we are. Come along, Mother.
You for real? About looking out for me, Mum?
Of course I am. I love her, don't I?
All right. I'll speak to her. Hey, that looks minging.
Yeah, well, your idea of cooking, stabbing it with a fork and shoving it in the microwave. Shouldn't you be in class or something?
I saw Barry.
Where?
Yeah, he texted me.
Was he okay?
He seemed different.
What do you mean different?
Like he's changed, like he's grown up.
He's gone to you because you're a soft touch, you know that, don't you?
He's really sorry.
Oh, he always is. If I had a quid for every time he said that word, I'd be dripping in diamonds.
I just want you to think about him coming home.
No.
Please, Mum, just think about it.
I've done nothing but think about it for the past few weeks, because unlike you, I knew he'd come crawling back soon enough.
Oh, yeah? That's why your face lit up when I mentioned him. You can pretend to yourself that you're done with him, but you can't lie to me.
He's a wrong dynasty. Just like his dad, and you've got to accept that.
You used to be all about family. What changed?
Oh, Christine. Met my mother?
Yes, Mrs. Windsor, how lovely to see you again. I worked with George in Glasgow.
Christine! Took me a second to recognise you without a drink in your hand.
Yes, I'm off to teach, so I'll see you back here at lunchtime, Mother.
No, George. You're off to change lives.
You still have a way with words, I see.
And you still have a way with men. There's nothing but talk about you, my George.
Really?
Oh, yes. When I heard that he'd split up with that awful misfortune cookie he brought back from China, I thought, maybe, just for once, a suitable choice.
The heart doesn't always crave suitable, does it?
I found this vile bottle of perfume in his bathroom this morning. So I know he has some floozy on the go. And trust me, I use the word perfume in its loosest possible sense.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
I was all set to board my plane this morning and I just couldn't go. It's a mother's job to make sure that all is well with her little ones, and all is not well. I can sense it.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
And what about that lovely little boy of yours? What's he up to?
Connor, well, he's quite a big boy now. He's just gone off to London to train as a chef.
Oh, it's difficult when they leave, isn't it?
Nothing prepares you for it.
Because they never stop being our babies. Even when they're balding babies with the middle-aged spread.
He really talks about me?
All the time.
OK, fourth years. Remember, you need to find quotes to support your arguments. And fifth years, you need to credit your sources.
Miss.
Yep.
We need to work out what we're going to do. What do you mean? About those girls? Sex slaves. We've got to find a way of getting them out of there. No! I'm not getting involved. Right, Kowalski's already complained once. We can't just leave them now. We've got to help them. Mr. Windsor says if you know something criminal's going on, then you have to do something about it. No guts, no glory. It's the right thing to do, Darren. I'm not sure.
All right, fourth years, your essays are due in next week. Year 5, I'll be checking your progress on Friday. Thank you.
And besides, if we did rescue them, we're bound to be grateful. How grateful? Very grateful.
You couldn't whip me up an omelette or something, could you?
We'll have the stew.
Goodness, is that what that is?
Let's hope she doesn't choke on it. Dennis, dear love, give Mr. W a hand. Go on.
Thought any more about our buddy?
Not now.
Stew, please. Hey, how come Mr. Windsor got more than me?
Shut it. Go.
Here's all right, we'll wait here. happens now? Right, we wait. Look, if they are using those as slaves, then you're going to see some dodgy-looking guys coming and going. Or we could just go in and see what's happening. And walk up to the counter and say, "Excuse me, are you keeping two Polish girls in the back of the shop against there will be any chance?" The big dafflies. Daz. Sorry. Oh, yeah, look. Where's he going? Look.
You look like a girl who's had her right arm cut off. What? Lenny? What's wrong with him, by the way? Tamik.
Shaznay, put that powder down, now!
I think you could fit quite a few sex slaves in the back of that.
You've got motivation, that's it.
Getting them drunk. Oh, those poor girls don't stand a chance.
He was a very sensitive little boy. Used to bite his nails, right down to the quick. I had to put bitter aloes on his fingers to stop
Mother,
him
I'm sure
biting.
no one's really interested in my childhood nail stories. You all right, Mother? Oh, my goodness. Mother, you all right?
You're messing about with choking.
What the earth do you think you're doing?
Well done, Dynasty. Resilience training in action.
Oh, it's one of my falsies, and it's ruined. These aren't cheap either, you know.
Unlike you, who's about as cheap as they come.
Mother, that is enough.
I've just saved your life.
Hang on a minute, that's my daughter you're calling cheap.
No, well, that's hardly a surprise. What a chip off the old block. You must be very proud.
I am, actually.
That smell.
Oh, like you made your point you didn't like the stew.
That awful smell. The perfume. It's you. She's your new bit of stuff. Her.
Well, it's obvious why you don't care about your family, isn't it?
Of course I care about you.
Get lost!
You're right, you lost. Show's over. Eat your lunches or do one.
There's definitely something going on in there. I think we should go and have a look. Oh, I don't know. FBI protocol in the field, all right? One hangs back, one goes in. Right, I think that should be me. Obviously, you're not ready to tackle the Polish mafia. Look, I don't know about this, Darren. Just chill, all right? I know what I'm doing. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, call for backup.
What do you think you are doing?
George and Carol, getting on. That is the stuff of nightmares. Oh.
Hey, have I missed something?
Yeah.
You can say that again. George's mother has already gone and outed him and Carol Perry. What? Well, the old biddy recognised Carol's perfume or something. You should have seen George's face.
All right, sis? Everything okay?
Something you should know.
Mr. Windsor?
Perhaps you should have a lie down, Mother.
No, no, I'll be fine in a moment. It's just a shock, that's all.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. I probably should have told you about me and Carol.
I just don't understand. You could have been someone, George. You could have married someone. With your education and our connections, your future was gold-plated.
What happened to you thinking I was doing something worthwhile here?
Please grow up, George. We both know that you went into teaching to spite your father and me. He must be positively spinning in his grave.
Drag him into it.
His son and heir teaching at some two-bit school, cavorting with a dinner lady. Not even a very good dinner lady.
Well, I'm sorry if I, in some way...
You're still young, George, with the world at your feet. We're better than this. And you know it. Be a darling and call me a taxi. I think I've had enough excitement for one day.
Of course, I'll get one of the pupils to walk you down to the staff room.
Excuse me. Right, you need help me. My friend's in there. He's been kidnapped by the Polish mafia and I'm pretty sure that he's just been shot.
I hear you put on quite a floor show at lunchtime. Mothers can be very protective of their sons. Especially when they think they're making a mistake.
Is that your way of saying I'm making a mistake?
It's none of my business, really, is it? Some of the pupils could have been very upset.
Yeah, well, Dynasty will have to get used to the idea. Carol spent the best part of 20 years putting the kids first. Sooner or later, they'll all fly the nest and leave her on her own. Do you think she deserves the right to try and find a bit of happiness for herself?
Then you should go for it.
Really?
Why not, if it makes you both happy?
Thank you. Wasn't really expecting you to be this nice about it.
There's nothing worse than living with regret, George. You don't want to be haunted with what could have been. If only you'd had the guts.
No guts, no glory.
Just do us all a favour and keep the domestics at home in future.
Yeah, sure.
Keeping in mind what we've just said about persuasive writing, what do you think the author's intention was with the sonnet?
It was to pull the bird that he really liked to us.
It's not quite how I would have put it, Kevin, but basically, yeah.
So perhaps Mr. Windsor used something like that to woo Mrs. Barry?
Oh, shut up, Gabriella.
That's enough, Gabby.
What? He might have.
I said that's enough. Rhiannon, You want to sort yourself out, or you'll end up on the other side of that door.
You know what, Rhiannon? I thought you had better taste in friends than that.
Maybe she'd like to write a sonnet to Connor, persuade him to come home.
Right, everybody, let's ignore her because she's only trying to get a reaction.
OK, can we have some focus? You really impressed me this morning. Don't ruin it now.
Whatever.
That includes you, Gabriella.
Of course, she'd take their side. She's the daughter-in-law of the head, and she's the stepdaughter of the deputy head.
Do you know what? I cannot wait for my brother to dump you. 'Cause he will, you know.
Right, Dynasty, sit down.
'Cause even he knows poison when he sees it.
Gabriella, where are you going?
Hey!
What's wrong?
Everybody hates me. No matter what I do or say, they hate me.
Come on.
Peace offering.
What happened to the rest of the bunch?
Actually, I stole it from an art lesson. Group of students, even now as we speak, sketching an empty vase. So you met Mother?
Yeah, that went well.
Can be a bit vindictive when she wants to be.
Well, at least you can see her.
Family trait, I'm afraid.
No, George. You're much better than her. You're not a bitter old snob. You're a really lovely man.
I'm not sure I am.
Of course you are. You're as sweet and generous as anything.
Not to everyone. This will be the cab.
See you later.
Yeah. Hello? Yes. Yep, we're on our way.
It can take a bit of time settling into a new school, but no one hates you, Gabriella.
Yes, they do. Even you hate me for what I did.
It was awkward and inappropriate, but it's water under the bridge. And whatever's happened with your friends, that's going to blow over too. I promise. You do trust me, right?
More than anything.
Good. Just go wash your face, go back to your class, and believe me when I say that everything's going to work itself out as it should.
Okay.
I hope you'll think about what I said.
Right.
There's no shame in calling an end to your little rebellion and returning to the bosom of our kind of people.
Our kind of people? And who might they be? Because no one really meets your standards, do they, Mother? Largely because you are, quite frankly, a snob.
Oh.
Ugh. As we both know full well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. This is entirely for effect.
You are a wicked and uncaring man.
At last, something we agree on. You know, given the fact that I spent my entire childhood in a boarding school, it seems pretty amazing that you managed to infect me with your poisonous contempt for all those around you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't pretend to be deaf as well as asthmatic. You're a vile and spiteful woman whose notions of superiority seem to be based on your privileged birth. You know what's worse? I'm exactly like you. So if you wonder what kind of man I've become, Mother, well, this is it. Arrogant and acid-tongued, the man you made me. So I hope you're proud of your handiwork, because I, for one, am not. Mother, wait. I shouldn't have said...
blast.
Have you seen Lenny?
Thought you said he went home sick.
No, I only said that so he wouldn't get into bother.
Is he bunking? Didn't know he had it in him.
Neither did I. I think him and Darren might have gone into town at lunch.
That would be why they're late back then. There's something going on in town. My cousin tweeted it, look. The cops are there and everything.
Mr. Kowalski's shop? That's where I think they went.
They reckon there's been a shooting. Darren Hughes and Lenny Brown have been shot. Have you heard about Darren Hughes and Lenny Brown? They've been shot. Darren Hughes and Lenny Brown have been shot. The shop has been holed up all over the internet.
Oi! Everyone be quiet. What's happened?
Darren and Lenny might be dead.
Everyone shut up! You two come here. I want to know what's going on.
That's good. It's good work.
So I need to speak to you outside.
Can't I wait till after the lesson?
No, sir, I don't think I can. Lenny! Oh, I'm so glad you're okay.
Where's Darren?
He went into the shop and there was a gunshot.
What happened? Where is my son? Lenny!
I was trying to set up fireworks when this schoolboy arrives. Says he knows how to do it, only he manages set one off.
Joseph, what is going on?
It was supposed to be a surprise for your birthday.
Everything was all right until this lot marched in. I think the girl's going to be very grateful now, Lenny.
You two have got some serious explaining to do.
Yes, well, I think I warned you. This Vigilance Day wouldn't end well, Christine.
Yes, thank you, George. He is right, though. This all got completely out of hand.
All right, so they were a little overzealous.
And if we can't keep control of the pupils in school, then surely taking them on tour is a disaster waiting to happen. Resilience camp is off. Now, just show in Lenny and Darren, please.
You can come in now, boys.
Lenny, what do you have to say for yourself?
Just, I'm sorry. I was trying to be vigilant and not trust anyone, like Mr. Windsor says.
Like Mr. Windsor said?
Well, I'm not sure they were my exact words.
Kind of well.
Look, if you had genuine concerns about Mr. Kowalski, you should have told a member of staff.
I tried to tell Mr. Windsor, but he wasn't bothered. Look, I'm really sorry, miss.
Yeah, I'm really sorry as well.
Yeah, well, it's not me you should be apologising to, is it? It's Mr. Kowalski, which you are going to do right now, and Mr. Windsor is going to go with you.
Sorry, Mrs. Mulgrew. I've got someone from the council on the phone. It's about what's happened in town.
Don't you think you've done enough damage?
They've come to apologise.
Go on. Let's hear it.
Sorry that we thought the worst of you.
You just assumed that we must be up to something dodgy.
Sex trafficking, no less. You certainly give me birthday I won't forget.
I'm really sorry.
And what about you?
Sorry that I thought you was prozzies. Well, I thought you might be. From a distance, because obviously up close, well, you actually could be if you wanted to be, because you're both really good looking. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying, well, what I'm trying to say is I'm glad your granddad's not a pimp and forcing you to have sex with dodgy blokes, because that would be absolutely just...
Please, just stop talking.
Okay. Sorry.
emptying bins now?
He's called in a crossberry. Should try some time.
Oh, I'm in and all right. I'm just not bowing and scraping to do it. I'm not sure I like the idea of me old girl being a slop lady. But then again, you wouldn't have to. Not if I came home.
Oh, please don't do this, Barry.
Don't do what? Hey, ask my own mum to treat me like a son. Or to let me live in my own home.
I've got the girls to think about.
You've got yourself a new bloke to think about more like. I've heard about you and your new fella. Can't say I approve of your choice. But I'm sure it's not his looks or his personality that turns you on.
What's that supposed to mean?
A few nice meals out, a bit of jewellery, and you're anyone's, aren't you?
You watch your mouth. And he's not like that. He's a nice man. We have a laugh.
Do you know what I've missed most while I've been away? Your macaroni cheese. Maybe we can have that for our tea tonight.
You're not coming home, Barry.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I think you got off quite lightly, to be honest.
I think I'm really cut out for this, do you?
Or what?
Being my own person. I'm not dependent on Lisa all the time. It gets a bit hard, you know. Always having someone around who's stronger and much more confident than you are. I just wanted to be the one person that people could count on.
Lenny, Look, let's go inside. I'll ask Mr. Losley to talk to you tomorrow. He's rather better at all this.
Christine, about everything that's happened.
You are not to blame. I don't think you've had the support you deserve, Simon, and you shouldn't have to push this stuff through alone. So, I've decided not to cancel the resilience camp.
Oh, Christine, that's great. Thank you.
But we can't afford any more PR disasters. I've already had the Ellie on the phone. It had better go to plan, Simon. Do you understand me?
I won't take my eyes off the pupils for a second.
Come on, come for a ride.
I've got my car.
I'll leave it here and I'll bring you back after.
What would be the point in that?
Well, because... Well, it's not every day you get the chance to, have a go on a beast like this.
You know, I find it staggering that you're still single with lines like that.
Hope you're not going to be this boring on the resilience camp. We're going to be on top of each other, so to speak, for a whole 3 days.
Poor Hector. So sexually frustrated.
You don't have to be.
What?
Sexually frustrated. You don't have to be.
So, all sorted?
As sorted as it's gonna be, yeah.
Right, well, you can both come and see me tomorrow during registration to discover just how many weeks' detention you're getting. Off you go. Before I forget, George, I've managed to book you some pastoral training next week.
Pastoral training?
I knew you'd be pleased.
You must be pretty happy with yourself.
Not sure what you mean.
I don't know why you've got it in for me, but what I do know is that it's the pupils who are really paying the price. Hope that makes you happy, George.
I pretended to be you today.
What?
Trying to impress my mother. So I said the things that I'd heard you say and did the things I'd seen you do. Didn't end terribly well, but She was briefly proud. You're a very decent man, Simon, and... You're a very decent man, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Apology accepted.
Mr. Windsor, these officers are here to see you.
Can't wait to get
What are you doing sat here? Listen, George, we need to have a chat about something, and I'm not really sure how to put it. George.
She's dead.
What?
Mother. She's dead. She died. In a taxi. They thought she was just asleep.
That's awful.
I don't know what I'd do without you, Carol. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have you.
Because I've got a special mission of my own for this trip.
Ah, are you talking about Nikki?
Come on! Yeah, resilient! Come on!
I'm very experienced, what with my Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award. You need to use me at all.
You just want to see me and my kit off, didn't you?
You know if you need someone to listen.
I don't.
You and him could be two bitter, disappointed old teachers together.
Is that one of the pupils?
I'm in the middle of a lake and I don't know how to get back.
More next Wednesday at 8. Growing Up Fast next on BBC One, but some things stay the same. They're still outnumbered in the final new series. And then Grandad's back from the dead and Agnes is dying to get his insurance money. Mrs Brown's Boys at 9:30.